there are cuts pending by local governments that are dramatically going to be dragging on the economy. State and local governments are being forced right now to make some considerable reductions in spending. And the average reduction is looking like it's going to be about 5.6%. This by the end of in the second quarter. Now, what do you think that means? Does it mean that states are, going bankrupt? They don't have any money. They can't deal with this? Particularly those mismanaged states that have been mismanaged for the last 30 years. Is it finally catching up with them? I'll tell you what it should do when we hear that the average state is cutting their spending by 5.6%, which is going to have a dramatic impact on the economy of that state and the economy in the United States of America. We better take something, we ought to take away from this a reminder that tax hikes are coming, and they're coming big time. We always talk about tax hikes in the media as if they only mean tax hikes by the federal government. I said from the very beginning of this, that your county tax are going up. If you pay, like I do, a municipality tax, it's going up. Count on it. Your state tax, they're going up. They don't have any money. They're going up. Even the well-managed states are probably going to see tax hikes. Federal government, holy Matt, can you imagine if Biden gets elected? He's talking about $14 trillion worth of tax hikes. And that's just the beginning. There's going to be a financial transaction tax. They've been talking about it for years, since George Bush, the younger, George W. They've been talking about a transaction tax for all these years. Guess what? If we get a flop and a flip in our Capitol Hill and in the White House, count on it. Every time you write a check, every time you use your ATM, every time you make a deposit, every time you make a withdrawal, there's going to be a tax on it. Oh, it may be small, but there's going to be a tax. Count on it. I'll tell you something else you can count on, and I would say this almost no matter what happens, we're going to have a VAT tax. Mark my words, I've said this a while ago, 2 years from now, we're going to have a VAT tax because both sides of the aisle are okay with that. Now, the VAT tax, value-added tax, is not going to be much, not going to be a big deal. They're going to do the same thing they did in Europe. They're going to say, well, it's only, 0.35%. Nobody's even going to notice it. That's what they did in Europe. I was in Denmark last summer. The VAT tax on a cup of coffee and a piece of Danish was 21%. What happened to that half of 1%? Once you get it approved, raising it's not a big deal. Because of what Margaret Thatcher said many years ago. Socialism is a wonderful thing until you run out of other people's money to spend. And boy, did she hit that nail on the head, because that's exactly what's happened throughout Europe. Now, eventually, they'll run out of a point where they just can't keep raising all the taxes. What do? Hey, let's get these corporations to ante up for a technology tax. Let's do that. That brilliance came out of France. Now they're all jumping on the bandwagon. Yeah, we can tax Google. They can afford it. We can tax Amazon. They can afford it. They still have money. Yeah, that tax will be as good until those companies run out of money or say, this is getting ridiculous. We're not going to do this anymore. Then what are they going to do? Free market economy. It's the only thing that works. It's the only thing that's ever going to work. And we have a fraction of the population that wants to get away from it. Are you crazy? It is scary, as it should be. Really scary. Hey, remember, to click the subscribe button right here on the screen. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when new content is added. And more importantly than anything, you don't want to miss all 3 live hours of Financial Issues every day from 9 to noon. And you can watch it on FISM.tv. That's FISM.tv.